What's going on, everyone? So I wanted to go over a topic with you guys really quick. All right, I wanted to talk about strings. About 5, 6 months ago, I ordered a set of custom strings, and I put them on myself. I put everything together myself. I made sure my timing was on, and I went to a shop after, had a tech, a bow tech check it out, and then made sure everything was fine and everything checked out. But I had to do a lot of research. I had to figure out what company to go with. I had to figure out what type of string I wanted to buy, and it was crazy. It was crazy, crazy, crazy. I had to talk to a lot of different people. I had to get a lot of different advice, but it ended up working out. I made a few mistakes. I'm kind of glad I did because I know what to do next time. I want to start by saying I actually made this video. I reviewed these strings 50 arrows in. I held off because I didn't want to jump the gun. I didn't want to praise anything and have something mess up and have this video on the internet, and it's just not something I don't believe in. So I wanted to wait, and I wanted to hold off. Let's get into this a little bit, guys. When I bought this bow, they had a set of strings on this thing that I don't even know where they came from. You can see it probably won't focus, but on the speed knock, you can see where I got these strings from. It's pretty certain. You go to gas, it'll say gas on those things. You go to ABB, it'll say ABB on the speed knocks. You go to zebra, I'm pretty sure it says zebra. You get the point. I don't even know what strings were on these things. The bow shot like crap. I just didn't like it, so I knew I had to get a set of strings in. So right before our hunting season, after doing a ton of research, I ended up settling on this place called Catfish Customs. All right, the guy that runs that place, I want to say his name's Mike. I apologize if you see this and that's not your name, but I'm pretty sure that's his name. When I was doing all my research, trying to, I went to the spec sheet for Hoyt, and I was trying to figure out what size string I needed, but then I'd go on a website and I'd find pre-made strings for this bow, and the size that they used didn't match the size that Hoyt has, and it was just a mess. It was a mess. So I couldn't figure out what measurements to give. Instead of going online, I called Catfish right up. He asked me what kind of bow I had, and that's all I told him. I gave him the model of my bow and what year, and he said, I'll take it from here. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. That's exactly what he did. 2 weeks later, I get these strings in the mail. Flawless, all right? I don't know if it's still the same, but when I bought these strings, they had 3 different tiers of strings that you could buy, right? The bottom level, their cheapest set was made with this material, and then their next tier is made from this material, and the third tier is what I got, and they make it with bloodline material. It's awesome, guys. And not only is this really good string material, this place was the cheapest I found. Anybody that's into archery knows gas. I had it in my head, I wanted gas strings. I had a newborn, and I didn't have all this money to dump on all these fancy strings and all this stuff I wanted, right? I had to really find the best I can for the money I had. And that's, I came to Catfish. They were about $50, $60 cheaper than all the high name brands, and it's the same stuff. I mean, maybe not the same stuff, but it's not the same process. I get it, but it's a bloodline strings is a bloodline string, if you ask me. So I make my decision. I call up Mike. I give him my measurements. 2 weeks later, I get the strings. I take the strings out of the package, and what happens, if you guys have ever bought a custom set of strings, you know that they come with the loops on a paper clip. You don't lose your loop, right? Well, I dropped my paper clips, and I lost my spot. And I was freaking out. And I said, screw it. I threw the strings on as is, how they were made, and without any loops in it, just taking a shot in the dark. Lo and behold, guys, it was dead on. I threw it on the draw board. It looked good. And the only thing I had to do, and you have to do this no matter what set of strings you buy, is I had to add a couple twists for my peep rotation. I had to fix that. I don't want to state the obvious, but you have to do that no matter what, because whoever's making your strings isn't gonna know where you want your peep sight. So anyway, I threw them on and everything looked good, and I brought it to the shop, and the guy said it looked good. He looked at it really quick, the timing, and he said it looked good. I whatever, I ended up shooting a buck with these strings, and like they just really worked out for me. I did have to fix. I brought it to another bow tech, and he ended up having to add a loop or two, or take a loop out, or somewhere to fix my timing a little bit, because after those strings set, and I don't know if they stretched, or if maybe the first bow technician wasn't good and he just didn't care to look, and he just said, "Yep, looks good." Maybe it wasn't very good the whole time, but to throw a set of strings on and only have to do a twist here, that be it. That's amazing, guys. That is amazing. And another thing I wanted to add, I screwed something up. I screwed something up when I put these strings on, and I broke some of these speed knocks off. And I called up the shop, and Mike answered, and I told him my situation. And even though I was at fault and I screwed up, he offered, as if I wanted to pay for the shipping, I could have sent them back, and he would have fixed them for me and sent them back, and like for free. And that is crazy, guys, because I was at fault, and I'm sure he gets those calls all the time. People break something, it's their fault, and they're trying to make it seem like it wasn't them or whatever. He was super cool about it, and you couldn't have asked for better service from these guys, all right? And because of that reason, I will be going back, and because of that, if somebody asks me where they should get strings, I'm gonna refer them to Catfish as well, because you can't beat good customer service, guys, all right? And obviously, if the product sucked but the customer service was good, obviously you're not gonna go back, but these guys were, through and through, just amazing. I was blown away by, like, to this day, 6 months later, I don't shoot my bow twice a year, throw it in the closet, and take it out for hunting season. I shoot every single day if I can, as long as there's no hurricanes outside, or if I can shoot an arrow in it, I'm shooting it. I have not had any issues, and I can't believe it. The serving in the cams isn't coming undone, which they shouldn't, but I've seen it happen. That's what was happening on the other strings that I bought the bow with. When I bought this bow used, they weren't the strings that came with the bow. They weren't Hoyt strings. They were definitely something else. They gave me extra serving string because, this the bloodline string is a different material. You really can't, I picked 2 colors, they charged me $110, and that was with shipping. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, that was plus shipping, all right? Everywhere else was $160 minimum. $160 minimum. So if you guys are in the market for strings, and I live in New England. This place isn't anywhere near me. They're hours away, so he had to mail them to me. It's not like I went into this shop and asked to talk to this guy. This was all over the phone. It was I'm just blown away, guys. I can't speak for their other tiers. I can't speak for their other strings, but the bloodline strings, it's worth it. You can't beat it. $100, guys. Come on, for a set of strings, give me a break. This is a RX5, I'm sure newer bows, even like Matthew's bows with all those crazy string setups, maybe it'll be a little bit more money, yes. You don't have that, that dual yoke, or I don't know what the hell it's called, you have all that crazy stuff going on. Like, obviously it's going to be a little bit more money, but if you're just, you got a simple setup, binary cam, like, just, you can't beat it. I hope this helps. And as always, keep shooting, but keep it fun, and just enjoy your weekend.